Imagine Palestine, where home was never a word you had to fight for. There are places in the world where the land itself holds memory, where the stones remember, where the olive trees, some of them thousands of years old, have watched everything. Palestine is one of these places. This is not a political statement. This is a human story. The story of people and a home. And what happened when the world decided that one people's home could be promised to another. Welcome, Palestine without colonization. Before we speak of what happened, we must understand what existed. Palestine in the early 20th century was a land of extraordinarily diversity. Muslim communities, Christian communities, Jewish communities, all living on this land. Some for generations beyond counting, some for millennia. The cities of Jerusalem, Jaffa, Haifa, and Nablus, centers of trade, culture, learning, and faith. Jerusalem, holy to the three of the world's great religions, had been a shared city for centuries. The Palestinian people, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish alike, had built a society rooted in this land. Olive groves tended for generations. Families in the same villages for hundreds of years. A culture expressed in food, music, embroidery, poetry, and an intimate relationship with this particular earth. The olive tree is not just a symbol in Palestinian culture, it is Palestinian culture. Some olive trees in Palestine are over 3,000 years old. They were growing when the pharaohs ruled Egypt. They have seen every empire that has ever passed through this land, and they are still there. Still bearing fruit, still remembering. On the 2nd of November 1917, Arthur James Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary, wrote a letter. 1 page, 67 words. In those 67 words, Britain promised to support the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Let us be clear about what this means historically. Britain, which did not own Palestine, which was not from Palestine, which had no legal right to make decisions about Palestine, promised Palestine to someone else. Without asking the people who lived there, the letter contained one condition, that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. Those communities were approximately 90% of the population at the time the letter was written. That condition, written into the very document, has never been fully honoured. The Balfour Declaration is one of the most consequential and the most contested documents in modern history. It set in motion a process that continues to shape the lives of millions of people today. And it was written in 67 words by a man who had never lived in Palestine, about a people who had for generations. In 1948, with the end of the British Mandate and the declaration of the State of Israel, 750,000 Palestinians were displaced from their home. In Arabic, this event is called the Nakba, the catastrophe. Entire villages emptied. Families who had lived in the same house for generations left with whatever they could carry. Many believing, as people always believe, in such moments that they will return soon. They took their house keys with them. Those keys are still passed down through Palestinian families today, from grandparent to parent to child. The key to a house that may no longer exist. But the key is kept, because the key means we have not forgotten, we have not given up, and we will return. 750,000 people in 1948 Today, the Palestinian refuge population is estimated at over 5 million people, the largest and longest standing refugee crisis in the world. People who were born in refugee camps, whose parents were born in refugee camps, whose grandparents left with a key and never went back. This is not ancient history. These are living people with living memories of a home. And yet, through everything, the Palestinian people have held on to their culture with a determination that is almost impossible to comprehend. The tatrees, the intricate embroidery of Palestinian women, each region with its own distinct patterns, each pattern telling the story of where a family is from, has been kept alive in refugee camps and diaspora communities across the world. Palestinian cuisine, Musakan, Magluba, Nafa, prepared in kitchens from Ramallah to London to Chicago, keeping a taste of home alive across generations. Palestinian poetry, Mahmoud Darwish, considered one of the greatest poets of the 20th century, wrote words that became the voice of the entire people. His most famous line, "On this earth is what makes life worth living." Palestinian music, Palestinian art, Palestinian literature, all created, not in freedom, but in the space between loss and hope. That space has produced some of the most extraordinarily cultural expressions in the modern world. A people who lost their home, but refused to lose themselves. And so we imagine, not a fantasy, not a political program, not a prescription for how things must be, but a vision of what peace looks like, of what justice looks like, of what home looks like for everyone. In this imagined Palestine, the Balfour Declaration is never written. The land develops on its own terms. The diverse communities that lived here, Muslim, Christian and Jewish, find their own path, their own arrangements, their own future. Without the intervention of empires making promises that they had no right to make, the olive trees are never uprooted. The villages are never emptied. The keys are never needed. Jerusalem, holy to 3 faiths, remains a shared city, governed by the people who live there, open to every pilgrim, and home to everyone who calls it home. Palestinian culture flourishes alongside the cultures of all who share this land. The Mediterranean coast, one of the most beautiful in the world, is enjoyed by everyone. The ancient cities thrive and the olive harvest happens every year. And the children, all the children, grow up knowing that their land, home, is safe, that their future is theirs, and that nobody will come with a letter or a key or a memory of somewhere else and take it from them. There's a word in Arabic, sumud. It means steadfastness, rootedness, the refusal to be moved, and the olive trees embodies sumud. It survives drought, it survives fire, it survives being cut down, and grows back from its roots. The Palestinian people embody sumud. They have survived displacement, occupation, generations in refugee camps, the loss of their homes, lands, olive trees, and ordinary lives, and they are still here, still embroidering the patterns of their villages into cloth, still cooking the food of their grandmothers, still writing poetry, still holding the keys. And an old woman sits in a refugee camp in Lebanon. She was 4 years old when she left. She's 91 now, and she has never gone back. On the table in front of her, a key, rusted, but kept, always kept. Her great-grandchildren sit around her, born in the camp, as their parents were, as their grandparents were. She looks at them as she tells them about the house, the colour of the walls, the smell of the garden, the olive tree outside the window that her grandfather planted. She tells them It is still there, the olive tree is still there, and one day we will sit beneath it again. Sumud, we are still here, we have not forgotten, and home is still home. This is not just a dream, this is not just a fantasy. Palestine had everything she needed. The land, the culture, the people, the roots. All she needed was for the world to understand that home is a home, and a people is a people. And the key is not just a key, it is a promise. Made by a grandmother to her grandchildren, kept across generations, carried across borders, surviving every. Palestine without colonisation, where a home was never a word you had to fight for, where the olive trees were never uprooted, where the keys stayed in the door they were made for. If this moved you, share it with everyone who needs to understand that behind every conflict, there are human beings, with homes, with memories, with olive trees, with keys. And tell us in the comments which country we should imagine next. The most liked comment we bring to life, because every nation, every people has a version of themselves the world hasn't fully seen yet, and we are here to show it. Sumud.